to see how this goes. Hopefully, some people pop in here and get some confirmation that audio and picture and everything is good, and that we are live. But what's up, everybody? We are Godzilla fan freaks, and please welcome to Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 66. I'm just gonna wait and see if anyone really pops in here. This might be the shortest Kaiju Chill O'Clock in history. I didn't really do any reminders or any posts like that, here on the YouTube channel or the Facebook and Instagram pages. I'm trying a new approach. I'm just gonna, might for the future. We'll see how this one goes. I don't know, but we'll probably just go live and see how many people we get. I didn't do any reminders throughout the week. Usually when I have a Kaiju Chill O'Clock live stream coming up, I do like a remind. I post about it that Monday. I post about it on Wednesday, and then I post about it on Friday, and then of course the day of the show. Not to say that engagement's been bad or anything like that, but what it came down to was I just don't want my post feed on the Facebook and Instagram pages, and even here on the YouTube page. I don't want my post feed, like when I post stuff, I don't want it to just be drowned out by just a black picture with a different colored text, because that's all I do. I don't really do anything fancy. Back in the day when I did start Kaiju Chill O'Clock, I had a little bit different technology on my phone that I actually preferred, because I could make the lettering like bigger and bolder, like with my new limited software on my phone. Even though this phone is better than my other one, I can't change the size of the text or anything like that. It's literally just very skinny, very thin. So it's like now I don't even take pictures of like a collectible or something for you and put text on the screen. It's literally just a black picture and text. And it's like I just found my Facebook and Instagram, and even a little bit here on YouTube, I just found like the feeds for the posts just so redundant, and it didn't look good to me. So that's why I'm doing this different approach today. So we'll just see how it goes. All I can say, you guys, is atomic blast that notification bell. That way you get notifications for when I do go live, however that works. Hit that like button. Just make sure that your notifications are on for my channel. That way you guys don't miss a show. And just kind of expect me to go live Saturdays, because that's really, at the end of the day, kind of my plan, is I'm going to go live Saturdays. It may be at the same time every day. It may not be. Again, you just kind of have to have that notifications on. If you got stuff going on, I understand. I'll find out something that works that can reach to everybody. If you guys want the reminder, maybe I'll cut down the reminder to once a week. I'll just post on like that Monday or Wednesday or something. Hey, guys, Kaiju Chill O'Clock this Saturday. But at the same time, also, if something changes, then it's like I have to put out that reminder, and it's just like, or like an update saying, hey, had to cancel the show for whatever reason, blah, 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 blah. But, so we'll just see how this works. Again, we don't have anybody in here. We're already going to be 4 minutes in, so I'm just blabbering. But if you do pop in, chime in, even if you watch this at a later time, if it doesn't end up being that crazy of a live stream show, I'm still got some stuff to showcase, some stuff to talk about, but please ask questions. Continue the conversation down in the comments, even after this live stream is up. If you come to it later and stuff like that, it's like, if you missed it, that's okay. It's not a big deal. But, if you have a question that maybe you wanted to ask or something, didn't get a chance to, I always respond to comments. It doesn't matter how old the video is. It doesn't matter. None of that. I've been responding to comments on videos from when I really first started this channel. I just got some comments recently on the Bandai 50th Memorial Box Godzilla 1962 review. And this was back when I was dumb and was doing my videos vertically instead of horizontally. But it's like, I'm always going to respond to your comments. It doesn't matter. But always ask questions, keep the conversation going. Again, Kaiju Chill O'Clock is just where you guys can come out, we can hang out together, and we all love the same thing. We all love tokusatsu, we love the giant monsters, we love Godzilla, dinosaurs, all those classics, from Jason and the Argonauts to Clash of the Titans, all those great Harryhausen movies and everything, kaiju, non-kaiju, all the ancient like Greek mythology films and stuff like that. The Last Dinosaur, big shout out to Seismic Toys for their announcement this past week with their new 30 centimeter The Last Dinosaur vinyl figure. It's basically going to kind of be like an X plus quality figure of The Last Dinosaur. And they have it on a Kickstarter and everything like that. So guys, go check out seismictoys.com. Go check out their Facebook, Instagram pages. They got links to the Kickstarter and all that stuff. There's going to be tier goals and everything like that. They want to add more goodies. They don't just want it to be just the T-Rex. He's going to come with a polar boar, and he could come with other stuff. So it's like, if you're a fan of The Last Dinosaur like I am, which I popped it in last night for a watch, and just really enjoy that film. It's just a fun film. Richard Boone is always a hoot, and just great memories with that film. Growing up, I grew up with The Last Dinosaur. It was a TV staple, but I just have memories. My dad recorded it on VHS on TNT Monster Vision back in the day, and just having those memories of watching it on that VHS, recorded from TV, to having the WB archive DVD now. Which is the only way to really own it. And it's actually not a bad copy, but I really hope that all this new life that Seismic Toys is bringing into The Last Dinosaur really gets the gears turning, and maybe we'll get a decent quality Blu-ray release. I would love to see a Blu-ray release of The Last Dinosaur, and I'm sure others can say that as well. It's just a classic movie. It's a gem. It's a diamond in the rough, for sure, in my opinion. Like, is it absolute cinema, groundbreaking, Oscar-worthy stuff? No, but it's like, for us fans of that era, and we love that classic tokusatsu and everything like that, it was just a great movie. I've been focusing more on my physical media stuff as of lately. I got one like, but I didn't see anybody pop in. So if you did pop in, thank you very much, and thank you for dropping a like. Please, Atomic Blast that like button. Just talking some classic, movies and stuff right now, tokusatsu stuff. Wasn't sure if I was going to get anybody on in here. Hopefully the audio and the picture is good. So if you are here, if you want to put a confirmation in the live chat, just so I know everything's good. But I'm trying a different approach. I'm just going straight live. I didn't put reminders throughout the week, and I explained earlier in the video. So if you ever want to go back and watch why I'm doing what I'm doing now, it'll make sense. But I just don't want to regurgitate it now. But luckily, we're only about a little over 8 minutes in, so not bad. Oh, Rich, hey, what's up, man? Thank you. He's the one that's in here, bro. Thank you, man. Rich from Wisconsin. What's going on, man? But yeah, no, just talking about some of that, old tokusatsu stuff, and, back to the physical media aspect. I was talking about The Last Dinosaur and what Seismic Toys is doing and bringing to us and stuff for fans of that film. And again, if you haven't seen The Last Dinosaur, again, I recommend watching it. Again, if you really love the tokusatsu, if you really love like Showa era type stuff too, The Last Dinosaur from 1977, I believe it was, it's a fun film. It's a fun movie. It's a fun TV staple in my opinion. But I hope that all this new life that's being breathed into it brings us a Blu-ray release copy of the movie, because I think it's due. Because granted, the WB archive DVD, which some people will say it's bad, it's legitimately the only like legit release legit release we can get physical wise now for a disc. The Last Dinosaur doesn't have anything beyond that. It's just on the DVD. I will have to check that movie out. Oh, dude, if you've never seen The Last Dinosaur, please check it out. I think you can pick it up on Amazon for around like $15. I think I saw what the DVD was going for, so it's not that expensive. It looks like a bootleg. Actually, Rich, just for you, man, just because you're the only one in here, I'll be right back. Let me go grab the box case for you, so you know what you're looking for. All right, I'm back. And, for episode 66, I'm kind of keeping the Godzilla movie theme with the Kaiju Chill O'Clocks. So in the background today, I got one of my personal favorites, Ibira Horror of the Deepon from 1966 for Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 66. And of course, the next episode of Kaiju Chill O'Clock, 67, what Godzilla movie is that? Son of Godzilla. Not necessarily a personal favorite of mine, but I do have a very soft spot for that suit. I know a lot of people hate that suit. But, so keeping that Godzilla movie theme with the episodes, just for like background noise and stuff like that. And we'll probably check out the Kaiju Cave a little later on. I've made some changes. There's been some new seating updates, making things more comfortable, you know what I mean? But anyway, Last Dinosaur. This is what you're looking for. Again, it looks like a bootleg. It doesn't look legit, but it is. And again, the quality on this DVD isn't really that bad. But it would be nice to see a proper Blu-ray release. But yeah, this is what you're looking for. This is The Last Dinosaur. Great movie. If you've never seen it, I recommend picking it up, Rich. It's awesome, especially with the new figure coming out from Seismic Toys. It's definitely worth the watch. It's just a fun movie. Again, it's nothing special Oscar, winning worthy, but again, it's just the fun of it. It's just great. And again, talking back to that era, because I grew up with, again, The Last Dinosaur. I grew up with Jason and the Argonauts, all the three Sinbad movies, Seventh Voyage, of course, Golden Voyage, which is my personal favorite. I love Golden Voyage of Sinbad. The whole fight at the end with the goddess with all the swords and everything. Oh man, I love that so much. And then The Eye of the Tiger, Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. I all those movies, Clash of the Titans. I grew up with all of that stuff. So, the Ray Harryhausen stuff, the practical effects, the claymation, just all of that stuff it speaks to me, and I love it so much that rewatching The Last Dinosaur last night, just because of the hype that Seismic Toys has put in me as a collector, it's like, it just was bringing me back to where I actually just was hopping online and I was looking for physical media that, like, yes, I already have, but I wanted to see if there was any Blu-rays because it's something I haven't researched in a minute, because collecting's been kind of dry. As you guys know, I've been really deep into the Kamen Rider stuff, so that's kind of where I've been. But, I love my physical media, and it's like, looking at my shelf last night, and again, I just popped online just to see, is there a Blu-ray copy of The Last Dinosaur floating around out there that maybe I don't know, or maybe went under the radar that people don't know? There's not. This is legitimately the only thing you can find for an actual release copy that's not a bootleg. But I ended up finding Jason the Argonauts on a region-free Blu-ray. I found the Sinbad Golden Voyage and Seventh Voyage on a Blu-ray free region on Amazon. And they're like collector sets too. They come with like some, cards that have pictures from the film and like really nice. And I had to do some digging on them because they didn't really look like they were region free, but they are region free from like the reviews and everything that I've seen and videos I looked up on. So it's like I nabbed all those three. One movie that has evaded me forever that I'm so happy that I finally picked up. And I actually did some price looking because I decided to look this movie up on Amazon. And the price was outrageous for a brand new sealed one because this thing is out of print and it's a Blu-ray. But they did have a used like new collectible is what they label it as, for $60. And I was like, well, that's a little better than this crazy inflated price. But then I was like, you know what? Let me do one more search through my good friends down at Zia Records, who I shop with. Zia Records is my local video store. I love them so much. They are fantastic. And I just decided to pop on their website, look up the title of the movie I was looking for. There was one used copy at a different store location up in Phoenix but I can call my store down here in Tucson and I can have them special order it and have them kind of, ship it to another location. And so, dude, At the Earth's Core, I am so hyped that I finally am going to own a copy of At the Earth's Core on Blu-ray, nonetheless. At the Earth's Core was another one from my childhood that I just absolutely love. It's a great movie. You got Doug McClure, and I cannot. And guys, the price. So there was a price that was like over $100 for a brand new sealed one on Amazon. Then it went down to $60 for a used one. I found this one for $40. Do your shopping, guys. Do your shopping. Again, check out different sources. It's worth it. Even if you don't find it, it's always good to check. And At the Earth's Core, I cannot wait to watch that again. It's been forever since I've seen that. And I want to say At the Earth's Core is the last movie from my childhood that I do not yet own. So it's going to be a final piece to a puzzle of like all the movies that I grew up with as a kid and have memories of watching them on VHS at home. Oh man, I cannot wait to watch The Earth's Core. I might actually have to invite my dad over and we're going to have dinner and watch At the Earth's Core because again, my dad loved all this stuff too. But Rich, I saw, I've been collecting physical media too. It's the way to go, man. Streaming is not. And then it's a great movie. Oh, dude, I love At the Earth's Core, man. It's such a good movie. Such a good movie. But anyway, we got two people on in here. Valley Guanji, I have that one. I have that one on Blu-ray. Valley Guanji I do have. Yes. Valley Guanji is a classic. I love Valley Guanji. But yeah, no, physical media is the way to go. Again, there's so many of these titles that you can't find on streaming. You know what I mean? And it's like, even though I grew up in the era of VHS, and I still do have a heart for VHS, I wish I had some of my old VHSs still. I don't. But there's still nothing like grabbing it off the shelf, opening it up, and even though it's a disc, popping it out, popping it in the player. You know what I mean? There's nothing like it. It still just gives you a great feeling. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for At the Earth's Core. Again, I'm updating my DVD versions of Clash of the Titans. I got the Blu-ray of it. I got the Blu-ray Jason the Argonauts, Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, Golden Voyage of Sinbad. So I'm upgrading all of those. I already had Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger on Blu-ray. I already had that on Blu-ray. But I didn't have any of the others. They were just all DVD. But no, I'm really excited to upgrade those to a better quality. I just love that era of filmmaking. They don't make films like that no more, that's for sure. But we got two people on in here. Thank you very much for being here for episode 66 of Kaiju Chill O'Clock with me, Godzilla Fan Freaks. Please ask questions, keep the conversation going. We've just been talking about some physical media, talking some last dinosaur, news from Seismic Toys and all that stuff. And I'll be getting into some other things here. I got some figures to showcase to you guys. A lot of fun stuff that way. I do have corn nuts on hand if I get a little snacky. So shout out there to Nick Adams because he puts the corn nuts in the thumbnail for me because he knows that I love that corn nuts. Solid snack, guys. But I gotta wet my whistle here. I'm a little dry. That was a lot of talking right there. At least just talking about stuff. But hey, that's what Kaiju Chill O'Clock's all about. For us to get together, talk about this stuff, hang out, man. But so yeah, if you've been watching the Facebook and Instagram pages, you've probably noticed that I've gotten some box days recently. I haven't done any box day videos though, and for those who are just seeing me through the channel, I apologize for the lack of box day videos. It comes down to, at the end of the day, I'm tired. And if I'm going to do a box day, I want it to be something substantial, if that makes sense. I don't want it to be something kind of just minuscule. Which lately I've been picking up some Tamashii Nation stuff. Now, I know what some people may say. You've been bashing Tamashii Nations in like your last couple videos that I did, which I will talk about in the stream here. What you guys think of the first video of why do the companies hate us, the consumer, and then my follow-up video of you can't make this stuff up. But even though I bash these companies, I still get some of their products because some of their stuff is good. It just doesn't make sense why they can't keep the quality the same across the board. It doesn't make sense. But I'm not going to dive into that rant. But I do have some new SH figure arts to show off. And but again, if you do follow Godzilla Fan Freaks on Facebook and Instagram, you know what these figures are. But I'm going to showcase them here. You guys kind of going to get a first look and an opinion from me on these figures. But and they're actually pretty decent. And you know, this is where I'm going to say in this point in the video, this is why it's awesome that YouTube exists, that, you know, things like, you know, reviews and stuff exist on products. Because even if it's written or videos like a lot of us like for figures, because again, it's like that's what it's all about. You can see this figure, you can gather opinions from several different sources, put them together, and then decide, do you want this? Do you want to pass? Do you want to wait for maybe a sale or a coupon or something like that? Because it's like the figures that I am picking up, I'm telling you guys right now, I deep dive into like reviews and to where I will watch 5, 6, 7 reviews on the same figure, sometimes even 10. And just to gather everybody's opinions and see if like pros and cons like line up. You know, like A, B, and C is good with it, but 1, 2, and 3 is bad with it, or, you know, whatever the number or letter may be. But, no, so it's like the figures I'm picking up right now from Tamashii Nations, I'm being very selective of, and I'm making sure that it's actually a good, solid product. You know, because, again, their quality is all over the place, and so much of their stuff is garbage. So the first figure that we're going to be kind of going over and talking about, which again, I've praised these figures before, and if you're not a video game person, I apologize. I just want to talk about, because these are new figures. You know, they're fun to me, and I'd like to share them with you guys. I picked up the Tekken 8 King figure from Tamashii Nations SH Figure Arts. I really like the boxes for the Tekken figures. They really pop. They really look nice. You know, they're clean. They look great. You know, really nice, you know, shots of the figure and everything all put together. And from what I've seen online of this guy, so just to give you guys the overview of the box here really quick, let me get that out of the way. And then let me know if you guys need more light. I can turn on a light above me, but I think the lighting should be okay. But here's King. And all in all, a really fun, great figure. He does have some things wrong with him that I do agree with a lot of people on. His cape, for instance, I'm really not a big fan of. And you can take his cape off. That is one thing, you can take his cape off. And it doesn't necessarily ruin anything of the figure, but without the cape, then all of this around his neck looks like too much. So it's like you need it all to blend together nicely, if that makes sense. It just doesn't look right without the cape. But I really wish you can remove his flowers, but then you got these ugly pegs that stick up from the figure. And even if you were to take everything off, then you just have these pegs sitting there. And I guess either way, you'd either be dealing with the pegs, or you would be dealing with, like, if this had pegs and went into the figure, then you'd be dealing with, like, little holes or whatever. So it's like you would have kibble. So it's like, I really wish this guy could be displayed, maybe without all his flair, but there's really no way that you can. And it's like the cape, it works, but it's also just weird. You know, it off balances him a little bit to where it makes him kind of difficult to stand. It hides his tail. I mean, he even has a tail, which King is human. Okay. For those that don't know Tekken, King is human. Why he sounds like a jaguar or anything like that, it's a mystery, but he is a human. He's from Mexico. He's a luchador. But I mean, all in all, great figure. He's a big bulky wrestler, so like his butterfly joints, they're there, but you really can't bring his arms any closer than that together. So it's like, one thing I really wish I could pose with King is I really wish I could like pose him with, like, you know, going like this, you know, putting the fist into the other hand, you know what I mean? Just ready to beat down somebody. because he does come with different pairs of hands. You know, he comes with some laxed hands, some open hands. He comes with a finger pointing hand. And that's about it. He doesn't come with any other accessories. My opinion, a missed accessory with this guy, a microphone and a hand to hold the microphone, or a microphone molded into a hand. You know what I mean? And that way you don't have to worry about losing a little tiny microphone. But that way it looks like he's talking to the crowd and stuff like that. You can get some really, so missed opportunity there. I really wish he had a microphone. But his articulation's decent. He's solid. His legs have an older, which again, this is what I mean. Why does Tamashii Nations go back to using like older joints, which they know are worse than like their newer stuff? Why don't they just update everything the same? Because he has the old like pull down, and see, there goes the flower top just popped off. But he has the old like pull down legs, so where you end up having those ugly sockets in there, which again, it helps with movement, but he also has big bulky legs. An updated thigh system, which they do know how to do, would have been preferred for this. The butterfly joints, again, he's a big bulky wrestler, so I understand, but it's like, it's nice to have it, but just the fact that you really can't get any more closer than that, which that still looks pretty close, but if you're going for the pose that I would like to get him in, you can't recreate that. But I mean, good articulation, good detail. I mean, all the way around. A lot of people I've seen who've reviewed this guy don't like all of his little tassels here, which are just on like ball joints and stuff. But I don't mind them as much as I do like the cape and stuff like that. Like, it all looks good, and if you can get him posed just right, he looks awesome. But again, it's just almost a little too much to where I wish you had the option and it didn't look as ugly to just remove everything. But overall, great figure. I mean, detail and paint is pristine. This guy is clean, you guys. I mean, he just looks great. Just wait for the review. You guys will get a little bit better of a look than here with my ugly mug in the background. But, I mean, the paint is phenomenal. I mean, look at all the patterns and everything on his face. No bit of slop at all. It is clean. Which, again, Tamashii Nations, the quality is here. And this guy retails for about $85 to $90, depending on where you get your figures at. I found mine on Amazon for $74. It was the lowest. It had like a discount on it, and it was like the lowest price in the last 30 days. So I was like, you know what? Not bad. The reviews are kind of 50-50. There's good and bad things about it. But I was like, you know what? For that price point, he's probably worth it. I can say for about $70 to $75, decent buy. Decent buy. You know what I mean? Like, no buyer's regret. If I paid any more, I'd be giving Tamashii garbage, because their Tekken figures are some of the best action figures I've ever owned. The Kazuya and Jin, for those of you who have watched those videos and stuff like that, those reviews of mine, those figures are absolutely amazing. So much better than some of the other stuff they put out. Better than some monster arts, all that stuff. Same thing with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters. My next SH Monster Arts buy is actually probably going to be the Dark Magician eventually, which I've heard great things about that figure. And it's just like, that's SH Monster Arts. It's the same department. Why are these things better quality and cheaper? But there's all different kinds of factors. Again, you guys want more on that? Go watch the last two videos I did. Why do companies hate us, the consumer, the customer, the collector? And then you can't make this stuff up. Those two videos, if you want more on my opinions of companies and the way things are right now with collectibles, go watch those. I don't want to make Kaiju Chill O'Clock all about that. Which we got 3 people on in here. Thank you for being here. Still 1 like. If you guys can atomic blast that like button, it helps out the channel a lot. Just thank you for coming to hang out with me, Godzilla Fan Freaks, live for Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 66. But no, King, great figure. He's going to be coming up in one of my next figure reviews. Of course, Nick Adams from the Monster Report is going to help me with the thumbnail. He's been such a great friend, just helping me out with the thumbnails, making my thumbnails more appealing from what I can normally do. Again, you can tell the thumbnails that I've created and the thumbnails that Nick has created. Take another sip there. But the next figure I'm getting on into, again, I watched a bunch of reviews. I read a bunch of write-up reviews on this figure. All good things. Fantastic sculpt, fantastic detail, articulations top-notch, accessories galore. I ended up picking up the SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Ryuki. This thing's got a nice box too. I will say that right now. This is like the cover, the top cover for the box. I mean, this guy came in a really nice box. And this was $90. And for $90, again, still way cheaper than a lot of their other products. But man, the quality is here. So I didn't, again, if Tamashii Nations just makes all their releases solid, all of them good. But they don't, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, why is some of your stuff so garbage, but then you have some of these figures that are phenomenal? It doesn't make sense. Like, you would think they would want the same quality across the board for everything they do. But it's so, oh, it's terrible. Oh, Tamashii Nations, I hope you guys wake up. But great figure, great box, you know. Accessories, I mean, and this guy is just cool. Let me bring him in. I got him posed right now because I've been messing with him. But here is SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Ryuki. And this has like a special name to it. I forget what it's called. It's Tamashii Nations SH Figure Arts, but it has another name attached to it, which I don't know if means like maybe more of like a premium line. But again, still, for $90, this is fantastic. Again, you got great paint, great sculpt, detail, articulation is amazing. He comes with accessories, not just a bunch of hands, which he still comes with a bunch of hands, but he comes with so many accessories. As you can see, he's got a sword. He comes with his little card reader, because Kamen Rider Ryuki, they use like a card system. But he comes with that, and that has some articulation, plus some translucent eyes and parts. He comes with different head pieces, because he comes one where you can have it kind of just solid, but it doesn't even show up that much. But as you guys can see, it comes with this clear translucent piece, which lets light bleed through the top. And you won't be able to see it too much here just because of the way the light is, but I'll show you guys here another way, possibly in a little bit, not now. I don't want to necessarily mess up my whole setup I got here. But you can make light bleed through the top. I don't have a flashlight with me either. And, you get a glow in his eyes that are in there that are red. You can kind of see the light bleeding through, which is why I actually prefer this piece, because even though if you don't have light directly shining on it, light's still going to get in there to where it pops more than just like the sealed head. You know what I mean? The sealed head, you almost can't see the eyes at all that well, but this is a lot better. So this is like always an option. But I mean, this guy comes with so many accessories, you guys. It's like, and for $90, cheaper than Jet Jaguar, which was a crappy figure, crappy articulation in certain joints. You know, he didn't come with any accessories that were worth a dang, and you're paying over $100 for Jet Jaguar. $90, and this is a humanoid type figure like Jet Jaguar. So much better quality. What happened? Am I the only one? Am I just going crazy here? Am I missing something? Is that wrong? Something tells me that doesn't make sense. That doesn't compute. Like, what are they doing over there? But I mean, just fantastic things, guys. I mean, if you don't know much about Kamen Rider Ryuki, none of his accessories are really going to make sense for you. He comes with his Dragon Strike head, which this is a hand accessory. This pops onto his arm. And let me tell you, the ball joints, they're not hard. They're not stiff. You're not struggling to pop something off. It's not overly loose. It's not overly stuck. Popping his hands and everything on and off fits like a glove. It's perfect. amazing. But I mean, again, the paint on this is clean. You got a very nice metallic red and silver. The eyes have clear translucent plastic over the golden yellow. The teeth. I mean, it's just, oh my goodness. And he comes with 5. It's going to be hard to show you guys these. He comes with 5 little tiny cards that he has hands that he can hold several different ways. He has a hand where he can hold it between 2 fingers like this, and he has a hand where he can hold it like this. And the cards do slide into his card reader. And it's just, they're really tiny, so you're going to have to really be careful that you don't lose those, because those are going to be really easy to lose. But the fact that he comes with them, they show up nice. And, you know, again, you pop them off of a little, like, what do you call it? Like a runner, I guess, you know, for model kits. You know, I guess you can call this a runner. You just pop the cards out of the little sections, and then that's it. But it's like, it's so cool. They show up nice in photography, and the fact that you can get them in his little thing here, it's just an awesome figure all the way around. Again, you got all different kinds of hands. Articulation on this guy is absolutely fantastic. He has excellent ankles. I mean, you can get some crazy ankle pivots out of this guy. I mean, ridiculous posing opportunities with Kamen Rider Ryuki here. But just great articulation. Details, everything. Just this $90, you guys. Excellent buy. Excellent. The bang for your buck. It's worth it. It's worth it. Now, I know not everyone's a Kamen Rider fan on my channel. You know, I'm kind of recently, you know, dabbling in more and more Kamen Rider stuff. But, man, that's awesome. I got another SH Figure Arts actually coming in today. I decided to pick up the Shin Kamen Rider from SH Figure Arts because I've heard good things about that figure. So he's going to be coming in today. Usually my Amazon doesn't deliver until later in the day. So probably won't show up here to where I can open it on stream. Otherwise, I'd totally do that. Because again, I'm not into doing the box day videos, even for like an SH Figure Arts or Monster Arts. It really depends what it is and how excited I am for the item. Not to say I'm not excited for these figures, but finding the energy to do box days on like SH Figure Arts, I'm kind of like, I'll pass. I'll just post some pictures about it on the Facebook and Instagram pages. And then, but it's like, if it's kind of like a bigger figure or something that I'm like really, really excited for, guarantee a box day video for sure. But, yeah, no, those are some of my recent pickups. Just great figures all the way around. Fantastic. You know, they're just awesome. Rich saying nice detail and accessories that are cherry on top. Sorry if I, you know, delay in your comments and stuff. I just get focused on something, but I see them come through. But yes, no, accessories are the cherry on top, which we don't get anything anymore. That's the other thing. That's what also makes this guy so cool. He comes with accessories, and they're cool. He just doesn't come with one accessory. He comes with several, not just a bunch of hands. Comes with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, no, it's again, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why does, you know, something like this, the quality is like amazing. It's good. It's not bad. But then you just got everything else is garbage and it costs more. And these things cost way less. It just doesn't make sense to me, guys. Again, you know, using different joints, using different older articulation joints for certain figures, and they're not as good as their newest joints and stuff. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Make everything universal across the board. Especially figures that are like humanoid type, Ultraman, Jet Jaguar, Kamen Riders. They should all have the same type of articulation systems. You know, they shouldn't have older stuff, especially if they're newer figures that are coming out. You know, which a lot of their stuff is. but it's like they'll use older joints on these newer figures, and it's just like, why? And then you charge more. Again, I'm not going to get into that rant. But yeah, but I hope everyone's doing good. I didn't check in on you guys, but please, any questions at all? Today's show might be a little shorter. Again, we don't have a crazy ton of people on in here, but again, I'm doing a different approach, which I guess I'll explain that again to eat up a little bit more time. For those that missed the very beginning of the show, I'm doing a different approach to Kaiju Chill O'Clock, to where on Saturdays, hit that notification bell, you guys. Atomic blast it if you guys haven't already. Rider kick that notification bell. That way you guys get notified when I do go live or when a new video drops. Because what was happening was I wasn't happy with my Facebook and Instagram pages for Godzilla Fan Freaks. I wasn't necessarily happy with my post section here on YouTube for Godzilla Fan Freaks, because it just seemed really redundant with all the reminders of Kaiju Chill O'Clock, because it's like I'll put out a reminder, on Monday, the show's coming this Saturday, I'll put one out on Wednesday, and then I'll put one out on Friday, and then the day of the show. But it's like my feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that, it was just all being redundant, and I didn't want my feeds for the posts to just be all of that. So it's like, please guys, hi, subscribe, Gamer Master 5713, what's up? Thank you for being here if you are new, and thank you for subscribing, appreciate it. I don't consider myself one of the fanciest or flashiest Godzilla YouTubers, but I've been around for a minute here on the platform, and I tell you like it is, and I am as a lot of the other collectors would say, I'm very real when it comes to this fandom. I'm very real when it comes to this this stuff that we love. I tell you like it is. But thank you for being here. Your birthday is next weekend. Hey, happy pre-birthday to you. I hope you have an awesome one. I hope you get some awesome kaiju goodies. If you have gamer in your name, you probably love video games. Hope you get some video games, man. Do you have Space Godzilla? I have several Space Godzillas. It just depends on what Space Godzilla that you're referring to. I have an X Plus Space Godzilla. I have an SH Monster Arts Space Godzilla. I have the Mondo Space Godzilla. I have my old Trendmasters Space Godzilla from when I was a youngster. I have several different Space Godzilla figures. Yes, there's basically one representation of each kaiju in my collection in some way, shape, or form. So, if you're new here, definitely check out some of my, videos, older stuff. I have collection videos up too. You get to see the collection in all its glory. So, but thank you for being here. Am I excited for the new movie? Are you referring to the new -1, or are you referring to the new MonsterVerse film, Supernova? Which I will say I'm excited for both, different levels for each. Just because even Ghidorah? Yeah, even Ghidorah. Yes, I have Ghidorah, if that's what you mean. King Ghidorah? Yes, I have plenty of King Ghidorah in my collection. But no, I am excited for both films for different reasons. I'm not really a huge MonsterVerse fan. I do like those movies. Kong Skull Island, absolutely flawless film. It's amazing. But I do love the fun. I do love the fan service of King of the Monsters, 2019. I probably enjoyed The New Empire more than a lot of Godzilla fans did. And that was just because The New Empire for me was just turn off your brain, crazy kaiju, crazy kaiju awesomeness. And so that's what The New Empire was for me. It's not necessarily one of my favorite Godzilla movies. It's not like in a top 10, not even probably a top 20. But you know what? Supernova, if it's going to be more of the same as New Empire, I'm just all for that. Turn the brain off, watch the giant monsters smash each other fun. And then, of course, Godzilla, the new Godzilla -1, the sequel to that. Of course, I'm looking forward to that because Toho just did, amazing job with that. But if you are new here, I did grow up with a lot of the older movies. I am a Showa person at the end of the day. I do love the Showa stuff. That is where my heart and soul is with this fandom. But man, everyone just dipped out all of a sudden. Now there's 0 people in here. So at least that's what it says for me. But let's see. You like horror movies? Horror movies are always a good choice. Everyone likes their share of horror. I like a little bit of horror too. In Supernova, we get to meet Space Godzilla. Well, hey, make sure you don't forget to watch the original now. If you haven't, definitely try to find Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. You might even be able to find the Blu-ray of it out there, packaged with, I think it's Destroya. But yeah, watch the original for sure. And we'll see. I mean, everything's just kind of speculation. Again, I never dive into like, oh, it's Space Godzilla. Oh, it's Biollante. And for all we know, it could be Gigan. We don't know. But we'll see. It's probably going to be Space Godzilla just because of the name. But at the same time, it could just be a totally new kaiju. They could just be fooling us all. It might not be Space Godzilla at all. We'll see. But you're gonna have a birthday party today. Hey man, that's awesome. Well, and you decided to hop on YouTube and now you're watching me, man. And you know what? I hope you have an awesome day. I hope that this is bringing joy to your day. I hope that you check out some more of my videos. You like them. Comment what you think on certain things. Hey, I always respond to comments, even my really older videos. If you go watch all that stuff, and I hope you enjoy it. I have 2 Halloween costumes actually this year. Hey man, that's cool. I remember when I double dipped on Halloween. I remember one Halloween growing up, I was a mummy. And then I dressed up as something else and went like back out trick or treating, and that way I got like double candy and stuff like that. But in the neighborhood I grew up with, I was like one of the only kids, so it's like there wasn't a lot of kids trick or treating in my neighborhood when I was growing up. One is the Joker and one is Mortal Kombat Scorpion. Hey man, that's awesome. Great costumes right there. Great costumes. But thank you all for being here for Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 66. Again, I wasn't sure how the show was going to go today. It's been a little low engagement, but it's all right. I didn't do any reminders. Just hit those notification bells. That way you get notifications when I go live and stuff. Because all I can say is I'm going to try to do Kaiju Chill O'Clock on Saturdays. If it's going to be every Saturday, I can't guarantee that. But you know what? If I have the time, I'll hop on here for an hour or however long and go live with you guys, and we can sit and chat, talk about all the new stuff that's going on, and everything like that. Speaking of the new Empire, I got my color-changing Godzilla X Kong the New Empire cup. So I'm drinking my water out of today. But any questions, please feel free to ask. And so I'm doing the Walking Phoenix Joker, awesome for work, and then for dance, you're doing Scorpion. Interesting, very cool, very cool. I like that. My Halloween costume this year, I decided to pull since I've never officially used this costume for either any Comic-Con or Halloween or anything. I figured it's time to just put it on and see how it does. I'm going to be Spawn this year, so maybe I'll post some pictures about that. But if you're on Facebook and Instagram, I'll even post them here on the channel. I'll probably do like a happy Halloween post for you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna do Spawn this year. My Spawn costume's like nothing crazy, but it gets the point across of the character. So, Rich, I was checking eBay for Bandai figures and found you on. Hey man, thanks man. Hey man, Rich, that's awesome, man. You're just doing some shopping and listening to me. Hey. Appreciate it. Okay. Now, I don't know if YouTube's just glitching on my end, but it's been like in and out of how many people are in here. And I've went down in likes. So somebody unliked the video. Man, did I say something wrong? Man, we're just hanging out having a good time. How can you not like that? But no, I mean, see, what else can we talk about? What other topics, man? We talked about some physical media, some new figures. Yeah, my new figure coming in recently now. It's going to come in some point today. So, again, be on the lookout for pictures. The SH Figure Arts Shin Kamen Rider. Again, really excited for it. It's going to be a really fun figure. I've heard great things about it. So I'm really looking forward to adding that to my Kamen Rider collection. And because Shin Kamen Rider has like that classic Kamen Rider look, I really don't have a Kamen Rider in my collection that looks like the OG Kamen Rider. So it's like Shin, he's going to be a good, holder for that. I did love the Shin Kamen Rider movie. I think that's a lot of fun. If you guys ever want to dive into Kamen Rider, and if you have Amazon Prime, there's several free Kamen Rider shows on Amazon if you have Amazon Prime. You could watch the original Kamen Rider on Amazon. You could watch Kamen Rider Ryuki, Kamen Rider Kuga. You could watch Shin Kamen Rider on Amazon for free. You could watch Kamen Rider Black Sun, which is absolutely amazing. I'll never stop saying that. And that's on Amazon for free if you got Prime. So if you guys want to dive into some Kamen Riders, hey, there's your start. The only thing I will say is if you do watch the original Kamen Rider, just be ready. It was made in the 70s. It's not necessarily, I don't want to say hard to watch, but if you didn't grow up with it, you're not going to be appealed to it as much. Which I'm just watching it for the sake that I can say that I've seen the original series, but I'm watching it very slowly. I'm not like binging it, you know what I mean? Because again, it's not that enjoyable to me, but I respect it because it's where Kamen Rider started. But it's still, in my opinion, worth a watch just because it's the first. It's where it all started. It's where it all began for Kamen Rider. But all the other things, oh man, you could watch all that stuff. I liked Ultraman, but never seen Kamen Rider. Well, Rich, if you got Amazon Prime, those are some great resources right there. And I can recommend all of them. Again, even though I don't love the original Kamen Rider, like I can't just say, oh, it's great, it's amazing, I love it. I still recommend watching it if you just want to see where it came from. And you know what? If you do like the old Showa stuff, which I do, I still do appreciate it. I like it for that reason. It's nice. It's fun. But yeah, Black Sun you can watch for free. Kuga is really good. Ryuki, which is this guy right here, you can watch his series on Amazon for free. Godzilla's coming out of the mountain right now, getting ready to fight Ibira. And for those that are, again, who are new to Kaiju Chill O'Clock, the way I've been doing things lately is I'll have a movie on in the background. Actually, you know what? I'll probably unplug you guys and we'll take a look around because there's some stuff to look at. And we can see Godzilla beat up Ebera. Footage! Nothing too crazy to get copyright, striked or anything like that. But let me flip you guys around if it'll let me. There we go. Quick overview of the room here. Stuff really quick, you guys. But yeah, thank you all for being here. This is kind of where we'll wrap up the show. But yeah, no, dive into some Kamen Rider stuff because Kamen Rider's fun at the end of the day. We'll try not to get some footage in there, too much. But this is my media room. Oh, footage! Oh, Godzilla! He's gonna throw a rock! Ah! But so like here's my Kamen Rider corner with all my kaiju stuff. This is all my kaiju physical media. Probably get some Godzilla roars in the background. Hopefully that doesn't get me copywritten. But yeah. And again, you got your classic kaiju couch here. That is actually my grandfather's recliner with some Godzilla flair on it. For those that know Jobby the Hong, I do have his variants of his little, Godzilla things. And then I did get a new recliner back here, and I got a Mothra plush with the throw on it. Even though I'm not a big Mothra fan, I just couldn't pass getting that and putting it on this new comfy chair back here. But yeah, I got a nice little setup back here now with a little bit better seating and everything. So, for those that get to come over and enjoy some Godzilla fan freaks hospitality, this is, that's what you get, which Nick Adams from the Monster Report's been over here. So I can't wait to have all my Kaiju brothers back again, man. Nick, you, Michael, ZillaFan85, Chris, Goji Fan 93. I miss all you guys. So shout out to all you guys. One day we're going to be back here. Footage! But Yeah, no, you know what? This is what being a Godzilla fan and kaiju fan's all about, guys. I'm as real as it gets. I might be as fun as it gets. I don't know. You guys tell me. I appreciate you guys, all of you. Speaking of Sea Monster, oh man, God, I love that piece so much. It's awesome. Let's just take a minute to look at it. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful day out in Tucson, Arizona. I will say that right now for those who don't know where I'm from. I am from Tucson, Arizona. I'm in the desert. But a beautiful day out today. I actually have my house kind of opened up and just all the fans running, and it's a nice like 70 to 72 degrees right now. Beautiful, beautiful weather. And just watching Godzilla versus the Sea Monster while talking to you guys. So but yeah, does anyone have any other questions? Iggy, do you want to make an appearance? This is my French bulldog, Iggy. Hi, Iggy. Everybody say hi to Iggy. Usually Fred is the pet star on my live stream, but Iggy here is new. And come here, come here. She's probably freaking out because of the tripod that I'm holding. You know, you guys can't see it. I don't know why I turned the camera like you guys can see it, but here you guys can probably see it from this angle. Yeah, she's scared of this whole thing because this is how I'm walking around with you guys. Yeah, there she is. What? She's like, what are you holding? You think I'm playing. That's what you think. But yes, that is Iggy. I don't know where Fred is. Fred's probably out front, in the front part of my house somewhere. Oh, no house tour today. But because this is where all the magic is back here. But speaking of horror films, I know someone mentioned horror films earlier. Me and my wife, of course, we love Halloween. And we got horror films galore spread out, ready to watch and, view this weekend. But yes. Yeah, okay. Iggy, you're crazy. But I really hope everybody enjoyed the show today. Thank you all for watching. We are Godzilla fan freaks. Iggy's going to start barking at me here in a second. But so I'm going to end the show before all that happens. And that way it's just not crazy and chaos. But I hope everyone enjoyed the show today. Again, we are Godzilla fan freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to like and follow Godzilla fan freaks over on Facebook and Instagram. And without further ado, you guys, we are Godzilla fan freaks, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.